What's up, AfterBuzzers? We've got gnomes, and more gnomes coming up.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, AfterBuzzers? I'm your host, Tiffany Toney, and we are here for The Amazing Race, Season 31, Episode 9. So for those of you that have been tuning in with me every week, you probably already know I'm about to say something crazy, right? For those of you that are new, I'm about to say something crazy. It's just what I do. I just want to dive right into this, you guys. And I have a question that I would like to start with, and I hope that you guys in the live chat will be vulnerable enough to answer, okay? Are you ready for the question? Did Floyd and Becca cut in the line at the airport? Yes or no? I need to know what you think about it. I personally don't think they did, but apparently it was a big deal, and it was really some drama at the beginning of the show. Victor and Nicole felt like they did, in fact, cut in front of them in the line. Apparently, booking a flight to Croatia is a daunting task. Last minute, they really did struggle. Several of the teams were not sure they were even going to get on a flight. And I wonder if any of you guys watching have ever been in that situation before. I've traveled internationally and lived internationally. I usually like to book my flight beforehand, but in this case, our castmates, the teammates, could not do that. So it was a miracle that they all did make it. I do want to talk about these challenges. The first one was the teams had a choice of either serving 6 drinks to get their clue, which I probably would have failed at miserably. I worked as a cocktail waitress for like 3 weeks and I was over it. Or they could have gone to they had the Marjan Cave, which they placed bread in a satchel. I don't know what that was about. I thought that they could have done better than that, but anyway, who am I to judge? And then my favorite, they had to memorize a poem while dangling from the back of a boat on a raft, which I think personally was the most difficult challenge of this episode. The snorkeling, I think, probably would have been my most memorable and my favorite choice, even though I'm not the best swimmer. But what did you guys think about the senator's room? I thought that was really cool. Definitely with the puzzles and the memorization, sometimes those challenges can be even more difficult than the physical ones because it does require a lot of focus and it's one person doing the challenge. So oftentimes they don't allow these teams to work together. In this case, they did. I want to talk about these teams, you guys. I mean, every episode we're losing a team. Just about every episode we're losing a team. And to be honest with you, I'm quite surprised at the way that this has gone so far. My predictions in the first episode, of course, have drastically changed now to this episode. Some people have surprised me and some people have let me down. So let's talk about that. We're going to go right into talking about the teams. First place, we had Tyler and Corey. Yay! I love Tyler and Corey. They're my favorite. Anyway, they were so shocked to see Victor and Nicole running up right behind them, even though their flight was delayed and they had to be on standby. They chose the snorkeling as the initial challenge, and then they decided to make a switch. Now, initially, I did not think that was smart. I thought it was a terrible idea. I thought they should have stuck with the snorkeling and, taken their time and found the coins and found the clues, but they decided to switch to the poem. And I want to know, those of you that are watching in the live chat, was it a smart move or not? What do you think? I personally, while it was happening, did not think it was a smart move, but they pulled it off and they ended up in first place. Second place, we had Christy and Colin. They barely made their flight, but somehow still caught back up to the other teams and even passed a few teams. They attempted 4, 7, 12 times at the poem, and but they weren't lying when they said that they were water people. They definitely dove in and executed that, and I was impressed. Third place, we had Becca and Floyd, who were honestly losing their minds a little bit at the beginning of the poetry challenge. I didn't think it was going to go well for them, but I'm glad that it did because I really enjoy watching them, and they're honestly one of my favorite teams, and I want to see them win the $1 million. I love Becca and Floyd. I know at the beginning of this, I had my favorite team, and my favorite team was the Afghanimals, but I've had a change of heart, you guys, and I have fallen in love with Becca and Floyd. I love them, and they've nailed it, and I'm really proud of them. And I'd like to know how you guys feel about it. I'm definitely going to talk about the live chat because you guys are my favorite part of this whole experience, okay? So thank you again for tuning in. Fourth place, we had Victor and Nicole. And I'm like, why did they choose the poem? I expected them to choose snorkeling as the challenge, and they did not do that, which completely caught me off guard. I honestly, like I said, I felt like, reciting this poem while rafting was the most difficult part of the episode. And I have to be honest, it seemed like Victor was getting really, 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 really frustrated, but he couldn't really be mad because he was the one that kept dropping lines and messing everything up. And some of the words in these poems, you guys, I haven't heard since I took the SATs, so I don't know that I would have been very successful at this either. Nonetheless, they tried 7 times before they finished. Fifth place, we had Leo and Jamal. And they've really been scraggling behind and kind of, cutting it close, barely making it by the skin of their teeth for the last 3 weeks. So I know at the beginning of this season, I swore I would have bet my last dollar that they were going to win. And I know some of you that were watching are probably like hating on me right now, and because I said they were going to win and I was sure of it. And if you have Cash App or Venmo, I will Venmo you $1 because I was sure. And now I'm not so sure. I really don't know how they're going to do. I mean, they've really been struggling these last 3 weeks. They barely made it. Now, 6th place, Chris and Brett. They really struggled with the snorkeling at the beginning. They were completely out of breath and out of shape. And I just don't feel like they were really prepared for this race. Like I've said, week in and week out, I think that they have really, with the exception of one episode where I felt like they really earned their place, they have really kind of just skated by in this competition. And hey, it's worked for them and it got them far enough. However, I don't think it would have been enough. Even had they made it through this episode, it was only a matter of time, you guys. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one that feels that way. Sweet guys, really like them. I wish them well. But, I think it was their time. I think it was definitely their time. So I want to check in with my live chatters. Hi, Duplicate. Duplicate, you're always here. I'm so thankful for you. Meow. Let's see. Coffee says double U-turn next week. Let's see. Preview show, all teams struggle. You know what? At this point in the race, I expect that all teams will struggle. I mean, they're getting tired. You're getting closer to the grand prize. So I think that not only the physical exhaustion, the jet lag, the, foreign food, your body adapting to that, and then the anxiety of, getting close to this $1 million and realizing that every single decision is key at this point. I think it could definitely affect these teams, and they really have to be on point going into this. There are no room for mistakes. Let's see, who else do we have? I think that's all right now. Okay. I'm not mad at it though, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have been super dedicated, and I really enjoy reading your comments. And because I enjoy reading your comments so much, I have a gift for you. It is the gift of gratitude, and I just want to let you guys know how much we appreciate you. And if you are watching us on YouTube right now, make sure that you click that subscribe button. If you're watching on iTunes, make sure you give us not 4 stars, but 5 stars. And most importantly, make sure that you tell your friends to tune in with us. I mean, listen, your friends are probably wondering what you've been doing every Thursday night anyway, so you might as well invite them to hang out and watch the show with you, okay? So I would like to move on to our news and gossip. So for our news and gossip, which I guess really isn't necessarily too gossipy, because everybody that watched the show knows that Chris and Brett, the bromance, yeah. The bromance has ended, you guys. They are going home, but they were decent sports about it. For those of you that are Chris and Brett fans, I hope that you will continue to watch the show. Don't leave us hanging. Yeah, so that's Chris and Brett. Like I said, we enjoyed watching them, but their time did have to come to an end, and I expected it to come way earlier than it did. But hey, they hung in there, all right? So now we're going to move on to our special segment called Feeling Foreign. Do you guys remember Feeling Foreign? Do you remember it? Okay. So for those of you that don't remember, that haven't been here before with me, Feeling Foreign is when we practice words and phrases in a foreign language. So, of course, we were in Croatia, and the first phrase that I would have needed to use is I can't swim. I can't swim. So the way that we pronounce that in Croatian is ne mogu plavati. It sounds so cute. Ne mogu plavati. I guess I should say it with a little more like authority if I'm telling someone I can't swim. So I'm going to try it again. Ne mogu plavati. So now you guys need to log into Instagram or whatever social media outlet you follow me on. And you need to take a video of yourself practicing these phrases so that if I run into you in Croatia, we can communicate. Okay. So we're going to move on to the next one. I have another phrase for you guys too. Are you ready for it? And it is no more poetry. So if we were in Croatia and we wanted to say no more poetry, what we would say is nema više poezije. Right? Is that correct? Does anybody that speaks Croatian, can you please log into Instagram and tell me if I'm, Instagram or YouTube, and tell me if I'm pronouncing this correctly? No more poetry. Nema više poezije. It sounds so sexy. Nema više poezije. I'm sure you guys will all be using that one this night, on this Thursday, won't you? I'm sure you will. All right, so now for my predictions, the moment that you guys have all been waiting for. I'm sure that you're wondering who I'm thinking is going to win and who's going to get eliminated the next round. I never thought that I would say this, but I have to keep it real, you guys. I don't know how much longer the Afghanimals are going to be able to pull it off. If they can land a spot in the top 3 in the next episode, then maybe they'll change my mind. But for right now, I just don't see it happening. I honestly think that they are at risk for being eliminated. I don't think they have their heads on straight. And it pains me to say this because I love you guys so much. And I hope that you will slide into my DMs so that I can invite you onto the show and we can talk about what happened. But I don't want you to get eliminated. I want you to win. So I really want you to prove me wrong, but you're cutting it close. You're running on thin ice, guys. So for my prediction, I think that the Afghanimals are going to be eliminated. If not this next episode, then the following one. I know that there was talks of a double U-turn, so we'll see how that affects the game. I mean, anything could happen at this point. As far as who I think is going to win, I really, really think that Christy and Colin have a shot. They have been really quiet in their approach as far as creeping up the ladder and, landing that first, second, and third place. It's either going to be them, Victor and Nicole, or my favorite, Becca and Floyd. But not all 3 of them can win. So I'd like to know who you think is going to win. I would like to know your predictions, and I would love to hear your feedback on the show in general because it's entertaining to me and it gives me something to talk about and to relate to. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of AfterBuzz TV covering the amazing race. I am your host, Tiffany Toney. You can find me on Instagram at Tiffany, like the jewelry store, _Toney, like the boxer, Tiffany _Toney _. Feel free to DM me, share with me your thoughts and feedback, and I'll definitely bring it up on the show. All right, see you later.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.